hold the crown. Cause the adrenaline we blend with the sound is our thing. Relieving the kings of all crown. You ready? Are you set? Then jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Keep it steady, to the letter, right? Turn it up, y'all keep the flow. But can you rock it like rocket fuel? What you talking about? Space out your mind. But can you rock it like rockets, fool? That's a close encounter of what kind? Ready, set, steady, bang. Then jump to the rhythm as hard as you can go. Turn it up, y'all keep the flow.
This Lion fan base, Coach, they have been craving home playoff football since this building opened in 2002, and they've got it today at Ford Field in Detroit. Ahead, we'll decide the second entrant to next week's NFC title game as we've got a great one in store between the Carolina Panthers and the Detroit Lions. Who will punch the fourth and final ticket to the conference championship round? We'll know soon enough as we are underway here on a January afternoon.
Let's go, fellas. Blue 60. 59.
Watch the run, watch the run, watch the run. Check 31, check 30.
They'll run on first down. Benjamin, and not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
When we talk about Luke Kuechly, you can't talk about his overall game without talking about his intelligence and how he controls the whole defense. He quarterbacks that defense, and at times will actually make checks, just like a quarterback would on offense to get them into the right defense. They definitely were on that play. How about that finish, holding that to a minimal gain?
You ain't doing nothing.
They'll fake the give. Now Stafford. That's caught by the big tight end, T.J. Hawkinson. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that opens things up for you on the outside as well.
But that's where their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the in routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
At the 36-yard line.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
53. Ready.
They'll run for the first time with Johnson. Yeah, he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now.
That was a good run, and it got to the second level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle, and oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
And he is finally going to be brought down, but not before he gets it to the Panthers' 19-yard line. If you make the stop there, maybe you hold them to 3 on this opening drive. They didn't get the stop.
Yeah, new set of downs now. Now you're worried about, just as you pointed out, not just giving up 3, possibly giving up 6. Let's see what they decide to do here, because they've got to change up what they have been doing. It hasn't been working.
Here's Johnson. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. Add this game to the last one, and they moved the ball over 50 yards in 2 plays. They've taken this opening kickoff and marched it right down the field defensively. Not much resistance.
And that's the point, because my admiration is for the guys moving the ball right now. They know what they're doing. Their plan is working. But I flip it over and watch and say, okay, what are you going to do to change?
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. from 3 yards out. And the Lions take it right down and score on the opening drive. Looking sharp on that first drive. These guys, of course, coming off back-to-back victories, and you see that kind of advancing into this game, don't you?
You certainly do, and when you have a team that doesn't get too full of itself, even though they've won 2 games in a row, you get the end result that we saw there. That nice opening drive because they're sharp, they're focused, and they're locked into everything that they're doing.
This will be taken very short. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Newton to throw. That's going to be caught by Samuel. Space to maneuver at the 40. No catches for him in the wild card win last week, but he's got a first quarter grab here.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially those pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of teams against good pass rushing teams, they want to run the screen 10 to 12 times in a game.
A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down. So an instance there of Cam being Cam. We know he can use his legs.
And with that big body, it's hard to get him down, even if you get a clear shot on him. Plus, he moves it a lot faster than what people think. And boy, does he have fun playing the game of football.
Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
Bet you're going to tell me. Good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the read, though, by the defensive guys? They weren't fooled at all and actually ran with the lineman to where the play was and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
Gun.
First carry for Christian McCaffrey. Give him 9 there. They still need 6 more now on 3rd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And the line to gain here is the 37 on 3rd down. From the gun, here's Newton. And he's got his target. That's more. His first reception of the divisional round matchup, but it's good for a first down as well. Nice job keeping that opening drive alive, and they're in plus territory, that part of the field where you really want to convert on 3rd down. They did. Big-time pickup for them, and now I think the aggressive play callers think to themselves, this part of the field, I take my shot at the end zone, because the closer you get to the end zone, the field gets condensed. Makes it a lot tougher to run those routes. You still got a chance to actually run past people right now. Take your shot at the end zone early in the down and distance count.
Check, crunch. Gun. Double up. He's coming, double up. Check 26, check 37, check 37.
So that'll back him up 5.
Come on now, let's go.
Now they need 15 yards on this series after the delay of game. 1st and 15. McCaffrey following the penalty. 4 yards there on the carry. Gets it back to 2nd and 11.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Set. 180. Tight end right. Hey, 4 down.
On second down, McCaffrey. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
He was brought down by Will Harris. A 7-yard gain on the play. And it's third down.
After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Lions 7, Panthers nothing.
Seventh play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. They'll try and pick it up with McCaffrey. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
So, yes, it's only 3, but at least they're able to answer back after giving up the touchdown to start the game.
Yeah, I like the observation there because getting some points on the board, very positive for them. Feel a little bit better about things because if you don't score, you potentially have opened the door for them to score again, and then you're down 14.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone.
The Lions take over first.
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
Their own 25-yard line.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. They had the touchdown on the opening drive of the ball game. It was countered by just a field goal. So, hey, if your guys can do that for 4 quarters, you're in good shape.
Yeah, it is a team game, so that's just good complimentary football. But, you know, I know I'm no break.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. Give them 32 on the play. So the big play gets them across midfield now for 1st and 10.
1st and 10 at the 43-yard line.
Under 10, under 10.
They'll try the left side. Benjamin, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up 2nd.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Easy, easy. Check, check. Watch 54, watch 54. Yeah, let's get sack lunch.
On 2nd and 15 now. Stafford throwing. This is caught inside the 15. And that one results in 35 yards. Well, make that now 2 completions for him on this drive, and these aren't ordinary completions. They're big ones.
Yeah, these are the types that make a secondary talk to each other and not in a good way. Oftentimes pointing fingers. Hey, who's got him? Someone cover it. That type of indecision can open up to even more big plays.
And effective running here. He'll take it down inside the 10. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4. On 2nd down now. Benjamin. And this time he's not going anywhere. They'll get him down right at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd down and 5.
Waiting. So we got man.
And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. Call it a 4-yard pickup, but it leaves him a few inches short here on 4th down. The offense here not budging. They're going to fight for it on 4th and inches. They'll try and run for it. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Lions are able to extend their lead.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you've got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
This will be taken short. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Let's go.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. They trail early on the road in the playoffs. Not a great combination as they've got it 1st and 10.
Hey, watch it, watch it. 20. Great.
Just beating the play clock is Newton. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off by Justin Coleman. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
On 1st down, Benjamin. They'll fight forward for a couple down inside the 40.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he lost the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover.
Get him. 22. Hey, orbit. Watch the pass. Here we go. Hey, watch out. Check Mike 54.
After the run, now Stafford going to throw. Trying to lay one up. Touchdown, Detroit. As his guys are in for 6. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go. Look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
This will be taken very short. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
At their own 28-yard line.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And this, let's face it, an important drive if they're going to get back into this ballgame.
Think about going into the locker room down 21-10 as opposed to 21-3. 21-10, a little more optimism, a little more bounce around the locker room, a little more discussion about how they're going to finish this thing off. 21-3, I think discouragement clouds that locker room.
Yeah, and I think a touchdown much bigger than a field goal on this drive just to get into the end zone and get that momentum. We remind you, as we've done all year, that coming up at halftime, we will visit with Jonathan Coachman standing by in Orlando. He'll let you know what's going on here on a very eventful divisional round weekend. 11 yards and a Panther 1st down.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
On 1st down, this is McCaffrey. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets him back now for 2nd down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Ready? Ready? Tight right. Hey, 20. Got 4 down.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Newton, and an alley to run. Newton able to use those legs and get past the marker to pick up the 1st. The last drive, remember, similar situation. He forced a ball into coverage through the pick. He learned better there.
Yeah, similar to a golfer that's confronted with a shot that you just can't make. Sometimes you have to take your medicine, as they say, right? Just pull it down, take off, and go. Don't make something worse than what it was.
The first red zone opportunity for the Panthers thus far. They've got a 1st and 10 from the 10. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
They'll try the air now with Newton. They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Out of the gun, Newton. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. And the Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime. And the 11-year veteran bangs it through. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on 1st down, and it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen. I'm seeing if something pops, and if it does, that can alter my strategy and potentially get me some points. And if it doesn't work, well, then you just run the clock out and go to the locker room.
Now Stafford. And the pressure gets to him and brings him down. Stafford is sacked. K1 short. It'll go as a loss of about 8 as he gets in there to drop him. So we've come upon halftime here in this NFC divisional round matchup. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. A trip to the NFC title game hanging in the balance. Second half action back underway. This will be taken short. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line.
At their own 24-yard line.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is a real, I'm doing it though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3.
Rush in.
Now Newton. And he's got the hook up to Moore. 2 catches now in this divisional round matchup. That one, a first down. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
51. Express. 51 to Mike. You must be dreaming. Go. Mike 51. Mike 51. Great. Hey, Mike 51. Mike 51. Echo. Gun.
They just do get the playoff as he'll look to throw. Open man is Samuel, complete. The extra effort after the catch makes it good for a gain of 26 and also a 1st down.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
Stepping up, he'll try and run. Give him 4 yards there on the 1st down keeper.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
At the Lions' 31-yard line.
Set. Check 180. Check 50. 8.
And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. The tally there, minus 2 yards, brings up 3rd down.
And it's 3rd down.
Motion. Eight.
Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. Escaping the pressure right. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th.
It's 4th down.
So now here comes the field goal team for the 3rd time today. From the right hash and call it an even 50 yards. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. So his 3rd field goal of the ball game brings him a bit closer, but there's no question they need to start turning some of these 3s into 6s.
And 7s and probably even 8s. You know, as a kicker, you just head out when you're called upon, so he's done his job. It's the rest of the offense that needs to get it in gear if they want to close this gap.
This fielded at the 2. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line.
At their own 23-yard line.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. They had that first half lead, but they have been shut down here in this 3rd quarter, so time to retool a bit.
And probably need to tap into that emotional vein that gets them back to really playing hard and effectively. Because a lot of times we think it's just play calls and this isn't working and they're shutting them down. Sometimes when you get a lead, you lose your edge. You don't play quite as hard. That's what they're looking for here.
Trying to get that edge back as they've watched this lead shrink a little.
Watch the screen.
On 2nd down, Benjamin. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
Watching that play unfold and watching him complete it brought back memories of doing all those pursuit drills to make sure you don't over-pursue and let a guy get a cutback lane on you. He did that very well.
You praised him on tape yesterday for the angles that he takes to the ball. Took a great angle right there.
Hey, zoom.
Throwing on 3rd down, Stafford. And he will find his man on the outside. And he'll be out right at the 35. 11 yards there and a Lion 1st down. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
Yeah, when we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
11.
On 1st down, Stafford here. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. Defensively, celebration time because they finally forced an incompletion. He was perfect throwing the ball to that point.
Yeah, but from his viewpoint, they didn't force the incompletion. He just missed. That's how hot he is right now, and that's how he wants to continue to throw the ball.
And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's third down.
And now offensively it's 3rd and 10, and I'm just thinking to myself, actors always say, what's my motivation before a big scene? Right now the play caller's thinking, what have I done before that's worked well that I can go to right now?
Yeah, because they were pretty successful in the first half scoring points. Haven't done anything so far here in the second half.
Here we go.
On third down, Stafford. And that will be incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. Now Edwards to kick as he sends it away. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Panthers will take over. Now 1st and 10. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Now he's going to let it go deep. And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way inside the 35 before he goes out of bounds. Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game. And if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll inspire their defense as well and get a few stops.
And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. Different story this time around. We had that huge gain, followed by a sizable loss here. Now a throw left sideline here is complete. And he gets it down to the 32. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought him on to the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
Steps it, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Deshaun Hand drops him for a 4-yard loss there, and that brings up 4th down. 1 quarter remains for a trip to the NFC title game. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out.
4 down. 20. Hustle. 8.
They snap it to Newton. And this is caught. He hits more. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken.
Second and goal from inside the 5.
Here we go, G.
Again, McCaffrey. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
Now, that was a terrific play. We're down here near the goal line, and only one word comes to mind for me, and that's overwhelmed, because they absolutely overwhelmed the offensive line. He came free and made the hit in the backfield.
Now Newton on 3rd and goal. He can run, and the Panthers in for the score. He has been an integral part of the offense all season, and now in the playoffs he's carrying it over. Had the touchdown last week in the wild card game. Now his 2nd TD of the playoffs.
Showing some consistency, and that's something that we have to keep in mind about the playoffs, because we often think you have to be spectacular in order to win. I think consistent is what you're looking for. That can get you to the finish line.
Gano now following the touchdown, here to kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They've been asleep for a little while on this side of the football, Charles, and the score is just a one-score game now. Haven't had any points this half. What gives?
Let's go old school here. All right, let's get back to the basics. Get back to running the football, high percentage throws. Find the guys that eat pressure and make plays for you, and make sure they touch it.
We got double up. 32. 40 got.
On 2nd and 1, Stafford. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Olivier Vernon able to run him down for a loss of 12 that time.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. And that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
Like 54. Mike 54.
3rd and long, it's Stafford. Wide open receiver complete. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Detroit. A big play there. 75 yards. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. That's a pretty quick response to that last touchdown drive. And it seemed like they may be giving up momentum. Not so fast.
No, not at all, because they end up pushing the lead up once again, and you're exactly right. Thought momentum might have been shifting. Instead, they grabbed old Mo, didn't let him get to the opposite sideline.
This will be taken very short. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before, because that worked.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Brandon Marshall charging hard from that linebacker spot, and he drops him for a loss of 11.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21.
Gun.
Throwing is Newton. Going right side here, and that's complete. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
The Panthers on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 9.
Great. I can't believe they let you play. I can't believe they even let you play.
The shotgun snap for Newton. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Brandon Marshall picks up his second sack of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Panther football as we welcome you back. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on fourth down. They're going for it.
Let's go. Hey, Mike.
Gun.
Hey, come on out here. Come get some. Come get some. Come on here. Come get some.
The Panthers going for it on fourth. Newton. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked by Tracy Walker, and a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. On fourth down, that turned out like a punt. Maybe he was better defensively there just to knock it down.
And you know they go over those situations. All right, fourth down, where's the ball? Where would we get the ball? But instinct takes over, and when it's in the air, they just go and get it. So it's hard to get on him for intercepting it, but the smart play would have been what you suggested. Knock it down and take over in a deeper position.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Throwing here, Stafford. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Well, they're in some hot water now after that sack. It's 2nd and 21. Now a give right side. Benjamin. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a 3rd down and long. The Panthers going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Lady, hurry! Let's go, Heavy. Let's go, Heavy. Heavy, what you got?
To throw is Stafford. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And this play comes to a halt at the 33, and obviously that's well short of the 1st down. Now the Panthers going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 1:06 left to go in the game. Here's Lachlan Edwards now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. He gets this away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go,
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Trey Flowers in there to drop him as that clock continues to run. After the sack on 1st down. Newton, throw right side, is going to be caught by Samuel. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Hey, you got 3,
To throw on 3rd down. Newton completes it to Samuel. Call that a very strong gain of 24. On 1st and 10, Newton. Stepping up, he's going to keep it. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40.
Here we go.
And looking at it from the perspective of the losing side here in this divisional round, it all ends so abruptly, doesn't it? A few hours ago, you've got all this hope and anticipation of maybe a deep run, and now you're out of it.
Well, let's applaud the team that won, and rightly so. They're moving. Chance to get to and win the Super Bowl. That's a pretty darn good season.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. It's a win for the Lions as we say so long from Ford Field.